I lean the other way, man. I lean towards Errol Spence. You know, I think he's the natural welterweight. I agree with both of these terrific champions that there's more wrinkles to the game of Terence Crawford. But I do think that Spence being the natural welterweight combined with being excellent at what he does, which one of the things he does very well is not just the pressure, but it's an insane body attack. It's an insane body attack, which if executed correctly in any fight, takes away your best attributes because the body attack debilitates you. And then no matter what you do well, which is fighting backwards or forwards, fighting lefty or righty, all those things you do so well, when you've been attacked to the body so well, it will break you. And I just can't get out of my mind that Crawford, no matter how much success he's had, is still a natural lightweight. He's still started out at lightweight. So a body attack from such a powerful natural welterweight like Spence will eventually get to you and break you down. So I while there's terrific wrinkles to Crawford, I just angle towards that side because I just feel that what Spence does is going to be very difficult for a natural lightweight, despite all the success he's had at welterweight, to be able to have to overcome. Luckily for me, Errol Spence is not white, or they'd be calling me a racist. I'm going to add to that here because I've seen quotes from Mikey Garcia. He said he was in pain in that fight, in that Errol Spence fight. So he had to bite down, and you saw Mikey kind of fading in the fight. He went the distance, but he faded in the fight. He had to rely on his toughness to get those 12 rounds. I'm not saying Crawford doesn't have the toughness, but Crawford butters his bread with his skills. Garcia is technical.
Toughness. Crawford has
what I'm saying is Garcia is just a come forward guy. So there was nothing really. There's no other avenues he has, while Crawford has the other avenues he can play at. But if he's debilitated to the body, can he stay in that kind of fight? When your stamina is affected, when you're feeling that pain more because now your ability to get away from it because the body shots have broken you down. Now you got to stay in there longer than you really want to against this heavy puncher. I mean, I was looking at the Ugas fight, man. I was cringing looking at Ugas, man. He was just in so much pain. Forget about the broken orbit, which I can also relate to. You can just see the body shots just ripping him apart.
Oh yeah.
ProBox TV, link in the description. Paulie Malignaggi sides with Errol Spence. He thinks Errol Spence has what it takes to get it done versus Terence Crawford. You guys heard his explanation. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Errol Spence says kill or be killed. I made a separate video about that. Make sure you check it on the channel. And that adds to or fuels the rumors that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford could fight next. Make sure you guys come in, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. Now, funny enough, on ProBox TV, you see this clip. This is Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia. This is footage that I shot in Texas when they fought. And ironically enough, ProBox TV, they have Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, Juan Manuel Marquez, and of course, Paulie Malignaggi. And they were talking about it. And surprisingly, I found myself agreeing with Paulie Malignaggi a lot more than some of the stuff being said by Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver. Now, for true fans of the channel, you will know that Roy Jones Jr. is one of my favorite fighters in all of boxing, one of my favorite fighters, right? But I'm a man, Roy Jones is a man, etc. And if I understand your talking point, I understand it, or if I relate to it, I do. So I don't take those things into consideration. Now, as far as Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, the fight is not confirmed as official by the parties involved. I actually don't know exactly who I'm going to pick, Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, because I think it's that type of fight. A lot of people are saying Hagler, Hearns, and stuff like that. It's an epic fight, two undefeated fighters, two guys who are clearly the best, and if they fight each other, that's great for the world of boxing. Now, the reason that I'm saying I found myself agreeing more with Paulie Malignaggi is because Roy Jones said in this fight that you see on the screen that I took the footage of, Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, he said that Errol Spence is not a one-punch knockout kind of guy. He wears you down. Paulie was saying the size and Errol being naturally bigger at welterweight, Terence Crawford being a former lightweight who moved up more divisions, that's going to create problems because of the vicious inside game and body attack from Errol Spence. But Roy's counter was basically saying that, hey, Mikey Garcia was a lightweight that moved up and Errol couldn't hurt him. But I was at that fight ringside, and I definitely think Errol Spence hurt Mikey Garcia. Like, that's not even a question. He did hurt him. Look at round 9 of that particular fight if you don't think Errol Spence hurt Mikey Garcia. Now, credit to Mikey Garcia. I see something, right? I interviewed Mikey Garcia years ago, and he told me he was basically a teenager, so a kid, and he had sparred with Pacquiao and the likes of Edwin Valero, right? And these are two, and this is at a time where Pacquiao was running through stuff, knocking walls down. And Edwin Valero, he's like 27-0 with 27 knockouts. So Mikey having the mental fortitude to not get knocked out by Errol Spence, it's not surprising. You know, he's a tough guy. He's been in there with big punchers and stuff. But for sure, Errol Spence hurt him. So I don't know why Roy viewed it that way or why he felt that Errol didn't hurt him. And I've always said this on my channel. Errol chose to try to prove a point. I think Errol is stubborn. And when he gets something fixated in his head, I don't think he loses it. Almost like some of the kids that suffer from like autism, where like you see Rayman and he's super focused on math and math problems, and you know, it gets fixated on one idea and that becomes a strong suit. I think Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, but I think they're both insanely stubborn, including Errol Spence. So with that being said, Errol Spence Jr., the talk at the time was that he is not anywhere near the boxer that Mikey Garcia is. So Errol Spence showed different wrinkles in his game, and I think his whole game plan and strategy was to try to outbox Mikey Garcia, and that's what Errol Spence does. He embarrasses people at their own game. Like Sean Porter tried to have a dog fight, a firefight, a barn burner, and Errol Spence in the end got the best of it because he clipped Sean Porter. Errol Spence was never dropped, and he was fighting toe-to-toe the whole time. 12 rounds of toe-to-toe. I was at that fight too in the Staples Center, right? And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. So I think Errol Spence is such a dog that he tries to sometimes beat people at their own, whatever they're supposed to be good at. And I remember distinctly people were saying that Mikey Garcia was a supreme boxer and then Errol Spence outboxed him. But he still integrated a lot of power even in that fight. And Mikey was certainly hurt. So I don't know why Roy Jones believed that. But back to Paulie Malignaggi, I found myself agreeing with a lot of what he was saying. Basically the premise or the question, can a smaller guy who moved up and, you know, had to bulk up and go to a snack gym and stuff like that, can that person come out and withstand the Errol Spence onslaught? And that's, to me, my biggest question. I don't question if Terence Crawford can fight. We all know everybody with a brain knows he could fight. But can he, like, Errol is breaking bone. He's breaking people's orbitals. And then Roy said he doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he blazed Leonard Bundu. And some would say, oh, Leonard Bundu, who is he? He's not the creme de la creme. But Keith Thurman didn't knock out Bundu with one shot. And Keith Thurman got a lot of power and technique and skills and, you know, things like that. So I think Errol, for whatever reason, it seems like Roy underrates Errol Spence for whatever reason that is. And I didn't get to finish the whole thing, but the link is in the description. You guys watch it. I'm going to check out the rest of it. Tarver seemed like he was on the same boat as Roy Jones, but I found myself agreeing a lot with the questions Paulie has. Let me know how I did in this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Who wins this fight if they fight? Can Terence Crawford withstand a full-fledged welterweight, you know, bulldozer like Errol Spence, who can also box? He showed you that. Drop me that in the comment section. Subscribe, and I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.